Do your emotions ever feel like an uncontrollable storm, leaving you tossed about by anxiety, anger, or frustration? In our fast-paced world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by intense feelings, struggling to find a stable ground. We often try to control emotions through suppression, only to find them bubbling up later, stronger than ever. What if the secret to navigating your emotional landscape with grace isn't about rigid control, but about a profound, gentle wisdom? What if the subtle principles of Japanese minimalism could offer a pathway to truly understand, accept, and skillfully respond to your emotions, rather than being swept away by them? Today, we're exploring how Japanese minimalism trains you to master your emotions not through suppression, but through deep self-awareness, acceptance, and a mindful approach to your inner world. We'll uncover timeless concepts that transform your relationship with your feelings, fostering true emotional resilience and lasting inner peace. Ready to cultivate a calm, responsive heart and mind? Stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll have profound insights and practical tools to navigate your emotions with wisdom. If you're tired of emotional overwhelm and ready for a more balanced inner life, hit that subscribe button now. Let's embark on this journey to emotional mastery together. Beyond control, the Japanese approach to emotions. When we talk about controlling emotions, it often implies a forceful suppression, pushing feelings down, denying their existence, or trying to switch them off. This approach is rarely effective and can even be detrimental, leading to emotional buildup, stress, and disconnection from ourselves. Japanese minimalism, deeply rooted in Zen Buddhist philosophy, offers a vastly different perspective. It doesn't aim to eliminate emotions, for they are a natural, integral part of the human experience. Instead, it teaches us not to be ruled by our emotions, but to understand them, accept them, and respond wisely to them. It's about emotional mastery through awareness, not through forceful repression. This approach is about reducing emotional triggers. By simplifying your external life, you naturally minimize sources of external stress and complexity that often fuel intense emotional reactions. Cultivating emotional awareness, creating mental space to observe your feelings without immediately reacting to them. Practicing acceptance and non-attachment. Learning to let go of the struggle against unpleasant emotions, allowing them to pass without clinging. Fostering resilience, developing the inner strength to return to a state of calm and balance after emotional fluctuations. Let's explore the core principles that guide this profound emotional training. Key Japanese minimalist principles for emotional wisdom. Japanese minimalist principles, when applied to our inner world, become powerful tools for navigating emotions with greater wisdom and calm. Creating emotional space. Our emotions can feel overwhelming when they dominate our entire mental landscape, leaving no room for perspective. We feel consumed by them. Is the profound Japanese concept of valuing empty space, intervals, and pauses. It's the deliberate void in art, music, or architecture that allows the existing elements to breathe and be appreciated. In a busy day, it's the conscious pause between tasks. Applied to emotions, teaches us to create crucial mental and emotional space. When a strong emotion arises, anger, sadness, anxiety, instead of immediately reacting or suppressing, you create a within your mind. This empty space is not emptiness, but a gap for observation. It allows you to observe without identification. I am feeling angry instead of I am angry. Pause before reacting. That crucial moment between impulse and action. Allow emotions to pass, recognizing that feelings, like clouds, are impermanent. This habit trains your mind to step back from the immediacy of intense feelings, allowing you to witness them without being fully consumed. This newfound space is the first step towards choosing your response rather than automatically reacting. By practicing you create a mental buffer. You learn to observe emotional surges without immediately attaching to them or being swept away. This distance helps you identify triggers, understand the nature of the emotion, and reduces impulsive, regretful reactions. Isagiyosa, the grace of letting go. We often cling to emotions, resentment over a past slight, anxiety about a future event we can't control, or even attachment to happiness, fearing its loss. This clinging leads to suffering and emotional overwhelm. Isagiyosa embodies dignified composure and decisive clarity when facing the inevitable or an ending. It's the grace of letting go cleanly, without resentment or lingering emotional baggage. Think of a samurai accepting defeat with honor, or a potter letting go of a flawed piece without regret. Applied to emotions, Isagiyosa is the courage and grace to release emotional baggage. It means accepting impermanence. All emotions are temporary. They will pass. Releasing attachment, not clinging to pleasant feelings, nor resisting unpleasant ones. Forgiving and moving on. Letting go of resentment, anger, or guilt from past events that cannot be changed. This principle trains you to cut ties with emotions that no longer serve you, preventing them from festering and causing long-term mental clutter and distress. It's about finding freedom in emotional release. Isagiyosa helps you develop emotional resilience by fostering acceptance of change. You learn that holding on to emotions, especially negative ones, is a choice. By practicing graceful release, you free up mental and emotional energy, preventing the accumulation of feelings that lead to overwhelm. Wabi-sabi, embracing emotional imperfection. Our inner critic often judges our emotions themselves. We feel guilty for feeling angry, ashamed for feeling sad, or frustrated for feeling anxious. This judgment adds a second layer of suffering on top of the original emotion. Wabi-sabi celebrates the beauty of imperfection, impermanence, and incompleteness. It finds profound value in the natural, the weathered, the asymmetrical, and the authentic. It teaches us that true beauty often lies in what is flawed or unfinished. Applied to emotions, wabi-sabi means accepting your entire emotional spectrum, even the messy parts, without judgment. It tells you, emotions are not flaws. Feeling fear or sadness doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Your emotional landscape is dynamic. It's not meant to be perfectly still or always happy. Authenticity is beautiful. Allowing yourself to feel what you feel, even if it's uncomfortable, is a sign of strength and self-acceptance. This principle trains you to soften your internal critique of your own feelings. It transforms self-judgment into self-compassion, allowing you to experience your emotions more fully and kindly, without the added burden of shame or self-condemnation. Wabi-sabi radically reduces secondary suffering, the suffering about suffering. By accepting your emotional imperfections, you remove the fuel that feeds self-criticism and internal conflict. This allows for a more direct, less painful experience of emotions, making them easier to process and release. Zanshin, lingering presence, after emotional action. Often, after an emotional outburst or a period of intense feeling, we immediately jump to the next thing, or mentally replay the event without fully processing what happened. This prevents true closure and learning. Zanshin, meaning remaining mind or lingering presence, is a concept from Japanese martial arts. It's the sustained awareness and vigilance that remains even after an action has been completed. It's the quiet observation of the aftermath. Applied to emotions, Zanshin means maintaining a mindful awareness after an emotional experience. It involves post-emotional reflection, briefly pausing to understand what triggered the emotion, how you reacted, and what you can learn. Returning to baseline, consciously bringing your mind back to a state of calm equilibrium rather than letting the emotional residue linger. Preventing carryover, not letting the remnants of one emotional experience bleed into the next moment or interaction. This principle trains you to process emotions fully and mindfully, preventing unresolved feelings from accumulating and influencing future reactions. it fosters a clean emotional slate as you move through your day. Zanshin teaches you vital emotional intelligence. By consciously reflecting on emotional experiences, you identify patterns, triggers, and more effective coping mechanisms. This mindful processing leads to quicker emotional recovery and prevents emotional overwhelm from compounding over time. How Japanese minimalism transforms your emotional landscape. These core Japanese minimalist principles, Ma, Isagiyosa, Wabi-sabi, and Zanshin, don't simply offer tips for managing emotions. They work in concert to fundamentally transform your entire relationship with your emotional self. This isn't about rigid suppression, forcing feelings into submission, or denying their existence. Instead, it's about cultivating a profound inner wisdom, a nuanced understanding that allows you to engage with your emotions from a place of strength and clarity. By embracing Ma, you deliberately create crucial mental and emotional space within yourself. This isn't an empty void, but a rich, intentional pause that allows you to step back and observe your feelings without immediately being engulfed by them. It's like finding a quiet clearing in the midst of a dense forest. You can see the whole forest, your emotions, without being lost within it. This space empowers you to choose your response, rather than being swept away by an automatic reaction. Through Isagiyosa, you develop the profound courage and grace to release emotional baggage and attachments that no longer serve you. This means letting go of lingering resentments, past hurts, anxieties about unchangeable outcomes, or even the desperate clinging to fleeting joys. It's the dignified act of untethering your spirit from emotional burdens, allowing them to pass without taking root and weighing you down. This practice brings a profound sense of lightness and freedom. With Wabi-sabi, you learn to genuinely accept your entire emotional spectrum, including those feelings you might label as negative or imperfect. Just as a cracked tea bowl mended with gold becomes more beautiful, your emotional flaws or difficult experiences become part of your unique and authentic beauty. This transformative acceptance turns harsh self-judgment into deep self-compassion, allowing you to be truly present with all your feelings without the added burden of shame or internal conflict. And through Zanshin, you cultivate mindful reflection, even after an emotional event has seemingly passed. Instead of rushing to the next thing or endlessly replaying the situation, you pause with a lingering presence. This conscious post-emotional awareness leads to deeper self-understanding, faster emotional recovery, and significantly greater resilience. You learn valuable lessons from each emotional wave, preventing future overwhelm and fostering a cleaner emotional slate. This integrated approach doesn't aim to eliminate your feelings, which is impossible and unhealthy. Instead, it trains you to move from a reactive state where emotions control your actions to a responsive one, where you choose how to engage with your feelings. You become an active participant in your emotional life rather than a passive victim of your inner landscape. Through these practices, you gain the remarkable ability to navigate even the most challenging feelings with wisdom, clarity, and an unshakable inner calm, fostering a truly balanced, harmonious, and emotionally resilient self. The profound wisdom embedded within Japanese minimalism truly offers a gentle, yet incredibly powerful path to mastering your emotions. It teaches you to move beyond the common, often counterproductive, urge for emotional suppression. Instead, it invites you to embrace a mindful, compassionate approach that cultivates deep self-awareness, radical acceptance of your emotional range, and genuine emotional resilience. By consistently integrating concepts like Ma, Isagiyosa, Wabi-sabi, and Zanshin into your daily life, you learn to observe, understand, accept, and gracefully respond to your feelings rather than being controlled by them. This leads to a life of greater internal peace and freedom. Now I invite you to reflect. Which of these transformative principles resonates most with you today? Perhaps the idea of creating a moment of Ma before reacting impulsively, or practicing Isagiyosa to gently let go of a past resentment, or maybe embracing your emotional wabi-sabi to quiet self-judgment. How will you begin to integrate its subtle power to navigate your emotions with greater wisdom in your own life? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I read every one, and your journey truly inspires others. If this video has opened your eyes to a new, more compassionate way to understand and respond to your emotions, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might also be yearning for a more balanced, peaceful inner life. Your journey to emotional mastery, rooted in the elegant simplicity of Japanese minimalism, begins now.